You ain't going nowhere.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's just really...
All right. Well, that's a weird setup.
If this one works, it'll be a miracle.
What do we have today? What are we talking about?
Indoor roller coasters. This is a little something I like to call topics pulled out of our ass. Topics out of nowhere. This is a little no prep, off the cuff action here.
So what are we saying here? Indoor roller coasters. Good for society? Bad for society? Neither?
I don't know if I was going that far. Society. It's the enclosed experience. Good thing. They should exist. When it's done right, it works. It also is always good to have something that you can do when it's raining. That may be the biggest selling point of one of these. There are surprisingly few across the country. So, what's your favorite? What is your favorite indoor roller coaster?
We're both looking at the list of every enclosed roller coaster in North America. So I got it all in front of me here.
And it's pretty underwhelming when you put it all together.
It is, yeah. My favorite.
I'm looking for page 2 here, but it's just not here.
It's really not that hard, I guess. My favorite is Space Mountain, Magic Kingdom, Disney World. I'll take that.
That is your number one.
Yeah. What about you? What's
if you
your
can
number
only
one?
ride one enclosed roller coaster rest of your life, that's the one, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you got? What's your favorite?
Again, it's weird. I have to actually go to the list because it's not something that I keep categorized in my head that much. You know, it's like, you asked me like about inverted roller coasters, a question. It's like, I got those in a different compartment in my brain somewhere. But like, indoor, not really. It's a little harder. I really have to kind of think about it.
Yeah, it is a subcategory that it exists, but yeah, I don't think a lot of people really think about it.
No, that's why this episode should be just smashing. It's just going to cut through the heart of the issues.
Yeah.
That no one's thinking about. This is what we do here.
That no one wanted to think about, but we're going to talk about it anyway.
So we're doing Thanks for Writing. This is kind of an honorary thing. It's kind of like Drachenfire. It no longer exists. But at the time, I thought it was the coolest thing. Chaos at the former Opryland USA.
Okay.
The now defunct Opryland USA. Was one of only 2 of its kind. This was the Vekoma Illusion model, I believe is what it was called. And I was young when I did it, but it blew me away. I thought it was awesome.
So what was it similar to?
It was... honestly, it's not similar to anything that exists. It was really the first attempt at like a virtual reality roller coaster.
What?
It was kind of ahead of its time. Arguably, it was maybe not ready for any time. I don't know if it's ever a good idea. Listen to our take on the upcoming virtual reality roller coasters at Six Flags. And it's an idea that I don't know that ever should happen. But you were given goggles, at least originally. I didn't ride it like this because it didn't last. So, here's where you can look at this. You look back in history, and then how does this bode for Six Flags in the coming summer? But it didn't last. But originally, that was what it was. Only because technology wasn't where it is today, they didn't have screens that were small enough to be inside goggles, like virtual reality headsets. This was early 90s. No, not even, late 80s. Chaos went in 89. 1989.
Oh.
This is late 80s. This is a long time ago. But what it was there were some kind of diffusion lenses so that there were screens around parts of the ride, and then it was going to make it seem like what was on the screen on the side of the track was supposed to merge through the goggles, like in front of you.
Oh,
So it looked like you
wow.
were like bursting through the images. So it was like fire, and it was like stuff like that.
That sounds really cool.
So it was very ahead of its time, was very ambitious, but didn't ever really work like it was supposed to. They ended up just using it with the screens, and then the main chamber, they actually just added more physical sets, which is the version that I knew, that I rode. They made this sort of cartoon nuclear reactor thing, and then the ride was like the reactor like heats up and explodes.
Okay.
So it was like this whole thing. It was something else. I don't know how it would hold up if I ever got to ride it now or any time later. But when I rode it in the early 90s, I thought it was awesome. So that'll always hold a special place in my heart.
What was the actual coaster track like? Was it kind of a simple layout? Because you had to have these screens on either side, and
Essentially, it was a helix. Really, it was a spiral lift up in the main chamber, which again originally was screens. There was like a screen on the ceiling and one on the floor in the main chamber. And again, with the
Jeez.
goggles, it was like the images were supposed to look like a hologram in the middle of the room. So it was like this
All right.
again, really ambitious. But when I wrote it, it was the reactor set with the laser light show, which was really cool though too. So the spiral lift up, and then you really it was just kind of a helix down around the outside through these screens, and through most of it. And then there were some things. The finale was, I guess there's no need for spoilers. I mean, this thing is many years gone. It was a giant dragon head.
oh, all right.
Was the finale. You passed by at high speed. Yeah, I don't think there was too many. I think it dropped a couple times, and then was mostly just kind of spiraled around the fast banked helix. It was perfect. I guess I was the perfect age too. I was just sort of getting into thrill rides, and so it was just perfect for me. So Chaos, that's an awesome one. Actually, we went into this. I didn't think I was gonna have a chance to talk about that. It's worked out nicely. That's cool. I'm glad I got to bring that up. And of course, the musical track that they used on it was great. For those of you that listen to the show often, you've heard it. It might be our intro song. That's where it comes from. Chaos at Opryland. Awesome ride. Awesome little spiel. When they dispatched the roller coasters, it was access to number 2, as if it's like, again, you're going to some kind of like fantasy factory theme thing. It was almost kind of what it was. So it was access to control terminated, dispatching chaos. Is what they would say.
Dispatching chaos.
Yeah, you're dispatching chaos. So like you're
Okay.
literally just, it's access, you get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Access to control terminated. Dispatching chaos. I think that's great. It was really creative. The guy, whoever worked on the team that worked on that, did a great job. So that's my honorary all-time, which is kind of really bad that almost any category you ask me these days, that's what I have. I have this like honorary doesn't exist anymore, and can't be compared to anything else anymore. If you had to ask me what's still going, well, no, I guess before I even do that, I have my second honorary, disaster transport. Of course.
All right, yeah.
That was one of the greatest indoor roller coasters. I
was
really loved
cool.
that one. I really did. I thought that worked really well. Best use of an Intamin bobsled.
Oh, yeah.
Disaster transport, Cedar Point. Just enclosing it, the top half of the trough, and turning it into something more. That was really cool. Oh boy! As far as to go back to what's still existing, though,
I have a guess between 2 that you're going to pick.
I hate to do it because I'm not a fan of Disney, but I guess Rock and Roller Coaster.
Oh, Okay.
I threw a curveball there,
Not
didn't
what
I?
I was expecting you to say.
I guess that runs the best of any of these.
I thought you were going to pick either Mummy or Flight of Fear. One of the
Yeah,
mummies or
You know, I want Flight of Fear to be up there, but it just isn't. They just don't run that well.
Yeah.
Either one of them. They're always something a little off with those.
It's like the launch is great, but
Yeah, and
the actual layout.
it's like it slows down too much at one point, and then it almost gets too fast for itself at the for the finale. And it's even though the fact that they got rid of the over the shoulders years ago, it still jerks around a little more than you'd like, and they're inconsistent.
Yeah.
And at least one of them is lit too much. I want to say at least one
Yeah.
of them is. I always forget which one's which, but
It may be inconsistent too, just with the lighting in there.
maybe that's what it is too, from season to season.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have too much light. So, Rock and Roller Coaster is like that ride perfected.
Yeah, I was going to say
They made it better. They just took
it's a
worked the
similar
kinks out.
idea.
It's very similar.
Yeah.
Even down to the layout, it's very similar. Not exactly the same, but it's similar. And yet it's just like they worked the kinks out and they perfected it. And so I'll say that just for the coaster. I'm not a Disney fan, and I'm not an Aerosmith fan either. I'll throw that out there too. So that's why it almost kills me. But as for that roller coaster, for what it is, you could turn everything else off, and I guess that's the best. Still going today.
Yeah. No, neither one of us have ridden Escape from Gringotts, so I don't know how that stacks up.
That's Potter. How good could it stack up? Really?
Well, it hasn't gotten great reviews, so
Yeah, no, I have not heard or read too much great stuff about it.
yeah.
Seems like it opened and it was forgotten almost immediately.
Yeah.
I feel like the fire-breathing dragon on the outside gets more attention than anything else.
Oh no, the actual land itself gets way more attention than that ride.
All right, so it's not just my imagination.
No, I think that's consensus. Ride is like just okay at best.
It's just there,
But-
just a placeholder.
Yeah, but the other the theming with the shops and the food and the street performances and all that other shit apparently is just supposed to be mind blowing. But
And then it's interesting, we both picked rides that are primarily dark with just a few things to see.
yeah, I did want to bring this up that indoor roller coasters or enclosed roller coasters, I think generally speaking, most of these rides, pretty much all of them on the list, have some sort of theme to them. It's not just a coaster in a warehouse. I mean, some of them,
Well,
a couple of them are,
not
but
go that far. Some are.
yeah, but most of the time they're trying to go for something more.
Yeah, I mean, but what I was getting at was the fact that there are two distinct directions, though, that they go with these. One where it's more about the thrill of the darkness, or what darkness adds to the thrill of what's not necessarily the biggest, tallest, fastest roller coaster layout. There may be some stuff, just some lighting effects or a few things to see quickly as you're going by, but it's more about the fact that because we're inside, we're controlling the light. And then there's a few on here where it's actually like a dark ride on a roller coaster track. And it's more like that. But our favorites, at least between us, are where it's really primarily about dark.
Yeah.
Because I know that's what I like my indoor roller coaster to do and to be. The Mummy rides are the main ones that we've ridden that there's distinct rooms. It really is, the first half of those is like a dark ride. I do like both of those, but they don't come to mind when I'm thinking about my favorite. That's just the way I'm thinking. I just, and obviously it wasn't your favorite either. You like the classic, the 1975 Space Mountain.
Yeah, it's a little ironic that I like that one so much because Disney, they're known for their theming and everything. But that particular Space Mountain, at least, really the ride itself has almost no theming because it's pretty pitch black in there. You really can't see your hand in front of your face.
Yeah, it's got the big projection dome.
So it's like, yeah, they put a Starfield up, but that's really it.
You see that the last lift hill, right? The last phase of lift hill. You're kind of going up into that, and then and then it's just Fletcher in a warehouse.
Yeah, because even the Disneyland Space Mountain, they added a bunch of stuff to it.
They've enhanced that one more so over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they got the tunnel for the finale, the hyperspace tunnel, in World.
But it's really minimal though, especially for Disney. Like for some reason they never upgraded that one, and it's fine. I kind of don't want them to.
Yeah, I guess not. I guess it would be difficult. There's a lot of roller coaster track and supports in there. I don't know if there's really much room to do anything. They haven't rebuilt those, right? That's still
so.
Original track, original coaster, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Even the newer one got rebuilt, which is odd. Yeah. So even Space Mountain version 2, Disneyland doesn't rate for you. Even that couldn't overtake the original.
No, I don't really like Space Mountain Disneyland that much.
Original.
I just think it's not a very good layout.
Yeah, they didn't change the layout. It is smoother than it was, but
no, I'll take a lot of these over that one. Rock and Roller Coaster is much better than that. Both Mummies.
Well, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Flight of Fear.
What about Skull Mountain?
I don't know. Skull Mountain's fun. Great Adventure. Skull Mountain.
Yeah, Six Flags.
I think it's fun. I enjoy it. It's not really great.
That first drop is.
If you sit in the last couple of rows, it's like you're almost standing up on that first drop. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, drop gets me every time. That's a ride that like I want to not like, but it would be so easy just to be dismissive of it. But it is a fun little layout.
Yeah, it
is
really
a great first drop, and then it's got some action to it, and they maintain those couple of figures. There's a couple fun things to see in there, and it's mostly dark. It is best at night. We covered that on our Christmas episode.
Yeah, funny enough, an enclosed roller coaster.
Yeah,
best at night.
Unfortunately, because it's not without holes in the walls.
Yeah.
In the seams. Some sunlight does get in the daytime, so you really got to ride that one at night. And that's interesting because that has a piece of track that's outside.
It actually does.
That ride. But even that piece is under a canopy. It's still kind of enclosed. So what else? There's not too many things on here. So, I see Blazing Fury. Yeah, Blazing Fury or Fire in the Hole. The Hershen Park rides. You get Dollywood. Well, Silver Dollar City is Fire in the Hole, and then it's Blazing Fury at Dollywood.
Yeah, those are really dark rides with like 2 drops in them.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you have to consider it roller coaster, right?
I suppose.
But
well, hold on.
they're the minimal like requirements of being a roller coaster, just barely.
Aren't the trains powered?
That's true. I did learn that. I was watching something. Someone did a backstage tour at Dollywood, and they filmed it and put it up on YouTube. And yeah, I did see that last year where the guy giving the tour, he was one of the heads of the maintenance department or something like that. And he did say something about the trains being powered. So, I mean, I don't care. I don't care. If that bothers somebody out there, maybe you should complain. Petition RCDB to take it off. I don't know. What can I tell you? But I think it actually is powered. It really is a dark ride.
Yeah.
Those are really dark rides. What do you think about Black Diamond?
Well, that's like not really a coaster either. That's
no, I mean the
ride.
song by Kiss.
Oh, that's a cool song. I don't know. It's all right. I'm not really a Kiss fan, but it's kind of fun, I guess.
All right. I can't stand it. It's all right, though. All right, sorry. Back to roller coasters. There's a roller coaster called Black Diamond. Who knew? So what about that?
That's even more of a dark ride than Blazing Fury.
Yeah, that's really... Now, is that powered? I don't think that's powered, though.
It's not powered, but it coasts... The train coasts on gravity for a total of... I don't know.
There's those couple of turns.
Yeah.
Doesn't even have a true drop, though. I like it a lot, though. I like all those a lot, but now those really do enter my mind as dark rides.
I don't really think of Blazing Fury, Fire in the Hole, or Black Diamond as roller coasters. Yeah, I think of them as dark rides.
The Dark Knight series.
Even kind of... hold on, before we go into that one. Even Underground at Adventureland, Iowa,
Oh,
was kind of like that too, where
should throw that in there. Yeah.
it's barely a coaster, if you know, if you even really want to call it that.
Yeah, that's another one. I honestly can't remember that too much. That's very forgettable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of those start, it's a gray area. It's like, so then why is Calico Mine not a roller coaster?
It's actually a pretty good question.
Is that any more or less than any of those other ones?
Yeah.
I guess it is a little less. No, that is a pretty good gravity part at the end. Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like the community decided years ago, what was and what wasn't, and just sticks to it.
Kinda.
One last one that's sort of in that series is Lost Coaster of Superstition Mountain, which it's for all intents and purposes, I guess it's already closed. Should that just be considered SBNO? Or I read in general that it's closed more than it's open these days, so it doesn't operate very much.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but that's another sort of maybe more dark ride than roller coaster. That one has more of a coaster part though, where it goes outside the building.
Right. Yeah.
And you can see it. So I don't know. Those are kind of weird rides. So the Dark Knight series.
Well, before you talk about that,
Oh,
there's Laugh Track at Hershey Park. Now we haven't done that one, but
No.
it's an indoor enclosed roller coaster.
yeah, that it is. It's spinning. We talked about what we think it's going to be. We even watched the video on a coming soon for whatever the hell year that opened. What year? That's 2015. That was a new for 2015. So I don't think there's much else we could say about that right now without writing it. But that reminds me of Exterminator,
Oh yeah, another.
the other spinning roller coaster of the enclosed variety. And that one I like.
Yeah, Exterminator at Kennywood. That the last time we did it, I didn't have a great time on it, but I think it's seen better days, is what it is.
What part do you think? I feel the ride has gotten a little rough.
Well,
I
just
think most of
that-
the effects still work though, or do you think that's a problem too?
It just seemed last time it was a little brighter in there than normal. Also, some of the black curtains that separate out some sections of the ride, those were like kind of half falling down.
They're kind of
I remember that. Yeah, it kind of seemed like they let some of it go to hell.
It might need a really extensive rehab.
That last time, it felt like more than ever I was just riding a mouse in a warehouse. Before that,
Oh no!
I really couldn't tell where I was in the layout, and it was a lot more fun. But this last time, it was just I saw it too much for what it actually is.
Oh no! It lost you.
Yeah, it kind of did.
It lost its magic. I don't know if I felt that bad about it. I still like it.
Yeah, it's all right. I don't dislike it.
I kind of remember though did they not have the fog working in the boiler room part at the end? Either it wasn't or it was like not as much as usual.
Okay.
I remember it being very foggy, which was great. Riding that years ago. Yeah, it does need a good rehab, but it's there. A fun ride's still in there. But and the other thing, I did feel like I was riding a Revercon spinning mouse a little too much, in that it was kind of rough. Like that last leg where it's got those couple little humps,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and in some of the other ones we've done where they're just the bare bones outside ones, that can be really rough and jerk you around. And I kind of remember that at Kennywood it was like that last time, which is not good. But it is a great use of that shelf model roller coaster.
Oh yeah, I totally appreciate the effort.
All right, so now, we talking about the spinning mouse coaster inside. So would you rather ride that or just a regular mouse? Talking about, of course, the Dark Knight series.
Well, before you get to that, there was a semi-enclosed coaster at Jersey Pier, Casino Pier, Pirates Hideaway.
Oh, no, come on. That's on here. That shouldn't even be on here.
Yeah.
I actually rode the predecessor to that, which was Wizard's Cavern.
Oh.
That was terrible. That was, although it had the same lift mechanism that is used on the Zamperla flying coaster, the Volare.
Oh, that's right.
Where it's the spinning center column.
Why would they do that?
And it just pushes the
It's so silly.
the train up. And apparently it's so silly. It's so simple and yet so silly. Even educated engineers sometimes get confused and really can't figure it out. Right? You remember that. We were with someone who actually used to work for Grumman, and that baffled him.
That's right. I forgot about that. You're right.
He couldn't figure it. He just couldn't wrap his head around it. Like, how does that work? Why would you do that? Why would they design that?
Jesus.
But anyway, so the original one though, I think was like a Mac, and it was weird. It messed with my head at the time because I think it predated Matterhorn. It was like 1948.
Whoa.
But it's not tubular steel rails. It's just like wood.
Oh.
It's like it was steel. It was a steel roller coaster, but done in the wood coaster style, where it's like a box, and the cars have the main riding wheels and then like side friction wheels, and then I think probably just an upstop bar, even though it's steel. So it there were steel roller. Well, we know there were steel roller coasters before Arrow and Matterhorn. They just instituted the tubular steel track. And you get the original, some of the old original Coney Island rides. They did experiment with steel track in different forms, but it was like railroad track, kind of more than anything. But yeah, this ride, that version of it claimed to have been from 1948, and had a history that went back to Cedar Point.
Oh.
I believe it was the same ride hardware that was the Broadway trip at Cedar Point, which was enclosed, or at least partially enclosed there.
Do you happen to know where that was located in Cedar Point?
Oh, in the park? It was in the front main midway. I think it was around the Snoopy Boutique, that big Snoopy gift shop.
Mm-hmm. So off to the right.
It was something like, it was like around there, or maybe even in that location. Ended up at Casino Pier, so that was wacky. And then I went back with you years later, and we rode the Pirates Hideaway.
Yeah.
Which was just like, they just essentially just redid that ride. They just updated it with like a new track, and yeah, it sucked just as much as the original did, and had no theme.
No, it's not even a coaster in a warehouse. It's like coaster with like a roof over it or something.
It's coaster in like 3/4 of a warehouse. It had like 3 walls and the roof, and then it was missing the 4th wall, so that all the sunlight just gets in the front.
There's no point to that at all.
It really is stupid.
Oh boy.
And then the wizard, there was one wizard figure that was when it was Wizard's Cavern, that was kind of outside the ride when you boarded. They did move that to the dark ride of Casino Pier.
Oh,
he was in there. I mean, that whole thing I think sank into the ocean, didn't it?
It may have.
In Sandy, so I think it's all gone. But he was in there.
Oh,
just another little fun fact. We're all fun facts here. Thanks for fun fact writing. But now there's pretty much nothing left. So let's get to that Dark Knight series.
Well, there's also Dragon at Laron.
Am I ever going to get to the Dark Knight series?
And that's
guess not.
That was a fun kind of little indoor thing.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, that's like the better Skull Mountain.
Because that's also Intamin.
All right, well, I don't know if you could outright say better. It depends on what mood you're in or what you're looking for. It was the one with a lot more theme and story, but the ride was a little less action-packed. So Skull Mountain's just all action. But yeah, that dragon, that was I was very surprised.
They actually had a couple of things in there, and it had a soundtrack, right? They had a bunch of theming
It had
to it.
music. It had a whole story. It was like you encounter the dragon, and then
Yeah, right.
and
There
then-
was a story.
and then
Yeah,
you get swallowed by the dragon at the end, and
but that's a neat little ride, actually.
yeah, that is a good one. There's another couple of this. What is it called? Can't even find it on here. The one in Over Texas.
Yeah, it's not on here.
What?
They missed one.
Well, is it really not on here, or
It's not on here.
so it's not categorized properly on the website?
Yeah,
Is that probably what it is?
it's on the website. Yes, but it's just not on this list. Runaway Mountain.
Runaway Mountain. That's it. That was. That's the hurricane.
Yeah, Hurricane in a Warehouse.
Mirror image hurricane in a warehouse, or windstorm model
Oh, okay.
that was made by multiple manufacturers. That one, I think, was Premiere.
Maybe
We covered it, I
Yeah.
think, on our extensive Over Texas review, so it's in there. But that was all right. It's fun. All right, is it safe? There is something called the Dark Knight series. It's in a few parks.
You know, I just noticed Star Chaser was at Kentucky Kingdom,
All right, forget it.
and now they're gonna open Storm Chaser. So is that where they're doing Chaser and Chaser? It's like almost the same name. Or,
No, you are onto something. I mean, they had Thunder Run, they did Lightning Run, and then I figured Storm Chaser was because it's thunder and lightning, and that's the storm. I think I brought this up, didn't I?
you did.
I'm
yeah.
like, okay, so
That makes more sense than the Star Chaser thing.
but there was Star Chaser, so it's like a double tie-in.
What they like doing at Kentucky Kingdom is recycling old names or doing a twist on an old name. They never come up with a completely new name.
I guess not. I guess that's Ed Hart's thing. The Hart Park.
Okay.
That is. So I can't wait for them to do a play on Chang. That's going to be priceless.
Yeah.
I don't know how that cannot be racist, and it will be priceless. Trust me. What are they going to do?
I don't know.
That is interesting. And Star Tracer, we located a couple of times. I believe that operated at Darien Lake at one point, and then that ultimately ended up at the Great Escape. That was the Nightmare at Crackass Canyon.
Yeah, never did get to do that one.
Yeah, it's just a shitty Schwarzkopf something or other Starjet. I don't think
Right.
we missed anything, but yeah, it's interesting. Operated at 3 parks, and we never got it.
No.
All right, well, I guess that's it. About wraps things up here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a couple rides themed after the Dark Knight movie, and they're not that good. All right, thanks for indoor riding.